I do news commentary, newsmentary. That means we comment on the news. I like to say we joke about the news because the news is a joke, though sometimes it is sad-larious. That's a word I made up. Feel free to use it. Take it to your work. Take it to your friends, to your family. Sad-larious is the combination of sad and hilarious, because sometimes there's stuff that's very, very sad, but it's also hilarious. It's like the Darwin Awards. Are those still a thing? Remember the Darwin Awards? People putting themselves into extinction? But anyways, we joke about the news because the news can be a joke. Today, there's some sad, hilarious things in the news. But what I really wanted to mention on this live, what we're going to jump into, is the cult of old Donald, Jennifer, Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, does the DJT, is DJT, I never thought about this. Does it stand for Donald Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, Trump? Maybe that's what it stands for. I don't know. Lost in translation. There's no really solid way to figure it out. Scientists maintain that the meanings have been lost long, long ago. Words mean nothing. But Donald, DJT, the cult of Donald Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, Trump, is a fascinating one. Journalists and media mouthpieces have studied it for the last decade or so. And then I stumbled across this channel today called Life Take Two, and this video recommended to me. Let me show it to you. That I was like, with a title like that, I gotta watch it. This is Life Take Two, her channel. I highly recommend, if you joined our Discord or if you see my community posts, you'll see I recommended this. I don't even know her name, my apologies, but she did a video, what I learned about Epstein from my creepy ex-husband. And then I went and looked at some of her others. She was a former MAGA Cult member, and now she's doing videos of like her experiences and, you know, what brought her to here and the stuff she experienced. It's a powerful channel. I highly encourage you to watch this. And especially, listen, this video, if you're a parent or if you're, you know, a young lady, watch it because she gives some good advice on what to look out for. Again, I wanted to recommend this channel today, but within that, I wanted to talk about some of the other things that I linked down below. If you're new here, I'll link everything we plan to talk about it down below. And if you are new here, where are you coming in from? Where around the world you at? Hit subscribe. I'm guessing the subscribe button where that old lady face is. I can see an old lady. I'm hoping you can see the subscribe button. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm Rob. I go live sometimes on the weekends. We joke about the news. We always punch up. Punch up, folks. Comedy is activism, what I like to say. And I'm also your official YouTube vibe coach. Last week, I was recollecting about the 20-something-year-old girls on no, it was MySpace. Back then, it was MySpace. On MySpace, that were claiming to be the in the profession of a life coach. And I say, you can't be 22 and a life coach. I'm sorry. You can't be 23 and a life coach. You need to be a 60-year-old wizard or witch, you know, with long gray hair to be a life coach, to teach about life. But in that vein, with the male influencer and the alpha influencer and the beta and the sigma and the skibbity influencer universe that exists now, I said, haha, I've got it. I'll be a life, not a life coach, I'll be a vibe coach. So I'm officially your YouTube vibe coach. Tony Robbins always says, and grifter Dean Graziosi, I have a video on them in my on my channel. But Dean says, having a coach is cool now. You sit at a dinner table and like, what's your coach for? It's like, yeah, the last thing you want to do at dinner with everybody is list off the 8 coaches you have. Well, I have a coach to help me do chores. I have a coach to help me not procrastinate. I have a coach to help me schedule things. I have a coach to help me clean my house. I have a minimalist coach. I have a maximalist coach. Yeah, that's really cool. Just fucking read a book, okay? So if you want to brag about having an official vibe coach, I'm your guy. Skibbity! Zeke the Beast, good to see you. David Campbell, Skynet is coming. Judgment Day is upon us. Yeah, it's been here. Palantir. It's not Skynet. The Palantir Judgment Day is coming. David knows. Everybody dig a big hole. Get into your underground hole and wait it out. All right. So, and when I mentioned that I'm your official vibe coach, what I've come to find is that it's not really, the majority of people don't need a vibe coach. The people who need it are the MAGA clan. I call them maggots, because they have no vibe. They come in and they'll say, if any of my mods get in here, they'll say stuff like Trump 2028, King Trump. You know, it's just repetitive, and it's horrible. And today I want to talk about this YouTuber. I want to show you guys these protest signs, amazing protest signs. But I wanted to show you this YouTuber. Highly encourage you to check her channel out. Link down below to this video. What I learned about Epstein from my creepy ex-husband. She talks about being in the MAGA cult and getting out of the MAGA cult. And it's amazing. But I do comment on the news. My apologies. My apologies. But I do comment on the news. So before we get into things, did you guys see Indian goods now face a 50% tariff? Article about this back down below in the description. That's where everything I plan to talk about, like the YouTube channel, Gary's Economics down there, Fred Hampton Jr.'s channel's down there, Life Take Two down there, and then this article and a couple others that I'll show you. But this article was detailing how India is up against a 50% tariff. And do you know how I found out outside of reading the news? I got an email. And for all you people in the maggot universe that think Donald Trump gives a rip about any American small business or worker or human, you're sorely mistaken. He cares about himself first and himself second. And the saddest part about this tariff, because somebody yesterday in the live stream hit subscribe and then hit the notification bell. You join me every day, join the conversation. What really bummed me out is I see this email. I wanted to share this with you. From Barabee. Now, if you don't know what Barabee is, I highly encourage you to get one of their products. They do weighted blankets, but they do weighted blankets in a way that nobody had done up until Barabee, I'd like to think. We own a Barabee blanket. I got one for my oldest. I got one for my youngest. If you know anybody with autism who's autistic, these weighted blankets are absolutely incredible. And they don't pay me or nothing. Just, I get this email. This is Catherine, founder and CEO of Barabee. I'm writing this with a knot in my stomach, no pun intended, because their blankets are knotted, woven and knotted. Because of the sudden 50% tariffs for India, we have no choice but to stop production of our blankets. That's, you know, horrible. That sucks, because that means people are losing their jobs in India. People are losing their jobs in America. These blankets that, again, if you have a loved one in your life with autism or something and they like weighted vests or weighted blankets, let me just tell you, we went through many of them. All right. And there are the cheap ones sold at Walmart that have like beads in them and they can rip open. And I know other people who have gotten different ones that like the weight shifts. Barabee blankets has been an amazing find, because they do weighted, like, I don't know how, it's like bamboo or something. And I don't know. They're soft as F. They are woven blankets, like big knitting, and they're weighted in how it's woven. What's up, Frank Eagle? So why didn't you source locally? Well, Frank, if you weren't paying attention, if you're just waking up in America, a long time ago, this guy named Reagan, who is also president, an absolute asshat of a president, helped, and Clinton too, with all the free trade stuff. They helped corporations to outsource the American jobs to countries that didn't have strong unions or good pay or workers' rights. So that's why the jobs left. I know everyone goes, oh, it's the immigrants, but you know, you're just showing off how dumb you are. Because it isn't. It's the CEOs who could keep their jobs in America, who could do that. And you're right, they should. But because that's how America has just been, we need to go overseas and help unionize these countries, create workers' rights for them. That's why MAGA, all of your stuff is not made in America. The Bible, the shoes, the guitar. I'm trying to think what else. Most of the shirts. But it's horrific to see, a company that I've supported in the past that I like. You would pay way more. Hangry Moose. Yes, you would pay more and people would be paid better. We're for that. When you have more money, you can pay for more things. Let me show you this little thing I found on Reddit that perfectly encompasses tourism is sinking and it could be younger Americans to blame. The grand contradiction of America is they need us to keep consuming, but they also don't want to pay us. You should be okay with paying more, and we should also be okay with everyone getting a pay raise. But I'm not here to debate that right now. That's stupidity. I want to talk about this girl's channel and how she details getting out of the MAGA cult. Well, I didn't watch a video on her detailing it, but how she details that her marriage to an abusive person gave her insights into the MAGA cult and the Epstein stuff. And also, if you're wondering, somebody in the comments posted a list of women who have accused Trump of SA, which is absolutely incredible because you forget that he's got, I think, 28 accusers, at least 28. So we're going to talk about that. Oh no, my colorful shirt gets lost in the colorful things. But first, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm Rob, I go live every single weekday. I'm not going to read the stupid comments. So Dope111, Fartbox, not going to read that. Your Trump hat is made in America. Well, you got a rare one, William Rizzo, because if you didn't watch the Dropkick Murphys video from their concert where the guy was, or maybe that was a t-shirt. He kept holding up his MAGA hat and his t-shirt, and Dropkick Murphys lead singer, Ken Casey, said, I'll make a deal with you. You can't lose. If your MAGA shirt's made in America, I'll give you, I forget if it was money and a t-shirt. And he said, and if I win, I'll still give you a t-shirt and you take that shirt off. That's how he lost the bet. He had to take off the MAGA shirt. And live, you can look this up. I shared it on my page, I believe. We talked about it at the time. But the MAGA dude, went to the back of his shirt and his MAGA shirt was not made in America. I mean, this isn't like highly debatable. You can find it everywhere. Jimmy Kimmel bought a bunch of MAGA stuff and did it live on TV. This is, the thing is, it's just what it is. Some of these people, guys, okay, I gotta lay the base. I gotta lay the bottom, the basement floor for you guys. This channel, I'm the radical woke leftist that the Republican warned you about. I believe in higher wages for Americans, no medical debt, no student loan debt. One job should be able to afford a living, and that used to exist here in America. You used to be able to work one job and buy a home. Now it doesn't. So for all the people who are going to chirp off and start saying like, oh, you're going to pay more, we're already paying more and people aren't paid enough. Okay, inflation is up. Inflation, everybody agrees that over time inflation happens, that the price of things gets more expensive. Never mind what people are paid. Okay, never mind, everybody agrees. But when they agree to that, I go, why doesn't the price of labor cost more? How come in America the price of labor, the federal minimum wage, has stayed at $7.25 since 2009? So if you're going to debate that, go to a different channel. Go to like some Republican mouthpiece like a Tucker Carlson or a Glenn Beck or a Tim Pool or Ben, let's say, hypothetical, he's not a serious person, Shapiro. Go there. They'll be all for, keeping wages down. And that way you're not paying a lot, even though every news story and last election, people were worried about the price of eggs. Like, your point is moot. It's stupid. It doesn't exist. The real problem is CEO pay and corporate tax breaks. That's why things go up, because of greedflation. But I'm not here to debate that, okay? Because we haven't seen wage increases that kept up with anything over the past 2 decades, but somehow everything's more expensive. Just Google price of anything 2025, price of anything 2015. It's not going to be the same, but somehow miraculously the federal minimum wage has been the same since before that. I mean, just in the past 5 years, your dollar has lost a quarter of its worth. So if you haven't got a 26% raise, your money's worth less. So we're not going to talk about that because you're missing the point. This is not a culture war, folks, okay? This isn't about the books you should read. It's a class war, okay? Now that we have the basement floor set for this channel, for those who are still in, hit subscribe and the notification bell. For those who need a safe space, go to somebody who will placate you. Because these, like Hangry Moose said, something about executive wages. The only thing that has outpaced everything is CEO pay. A link down below to the AFL-CIO CEO pay tracker, and they break down how much CEOs and corporations are going to get in this big, beautiful tax break they just got from Donald, Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, Trump. I assume that's what the J stands for in DJT, right? That's got to be what the J stands for. Donald, Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, Trump. That's why he put the J in there. Maybe you guys didn't know that. That's the secret thing. Salem, like the one in Oregon, or which trial Salem? Lonnie, whichever one you want it to be. There's another clue on my shirt, but you know what? I like when people use their creativity, so go ahead. Basic economics is not fucking real, guys. If you're talking about some capitalist bullshit economics, just so you know, you've been propagandized. And I don't want to hear it. It's backwards, sorry. Oh, don't be sorry. I was just saying you could. Oh, if it's backwards and upside down, then it does look like WWA. But Lonnie, listen, I love that you're silly. Keep it silly. Always stay silly. Never lose the silly spark. Okay, Lonnie? Too many people have grown up and think they're skibbity risma alpha economicists. And Lonnie, out of that massive people, you know what? You're the one people are going to gravitate to because you keep it silly. They like that. They like that. Keep it silly, keep it light, keep it snappy. Okay? William Rizzo, you should get a job and stop obsessing over Trump. William, the MAGA cult obsesses over Trump. I dissent against Trump. He should stop making so much news about companies going out of business because of his tariffs. And then, because if you're new here, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I am Rob. I do newsmentary. We joke about the news because the news is a joke. And as long as that bitch is making news, I'm going to be talking about it. Willie. Oh, Willie boy. But good try saying stop obsessing. You know how many comments I get a week of that? Stop obsessing. It's like, do you not know how the news works? The American president does some stupid stuff today, and then we talk about it. So welcome to, I don't know, life. Ooh, I don't have any mods in here yet, so I'm going to take this moment to put you in timeout. So the other thing is, welcome to the chat, everybody. Let me know where you're from. Where are you from? Are you from around the world? I'd love to know. We got people from France, New Zealand, Tasmania, all these places around the world, and I love it. I love hearing outside Americans' point of view because they can wake Americans up to some stuff, especially the Europeans. They know how to do it. They're like, yeah, we get multiple vacations paid by the corporations, all right? Portland, Oregon, get out of here. You ever seen Portlandia? One of my favorite shows. Lonnie, that's a dream of mine to go to the Pacific Northwest at some point. I'm from Finland. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. A lot of Trump simps in the chat, which is interesting because you figure after he was, you know, actually, we're going to talk about this too. It's so weird that you guys simp for a guy who was best friends with that dude, you know? Like, that's what when you say stuff about Trump, when you defend him and you're all for him, and you're like, I voted for him, boom shakalak. Like, when you guys do that, I go, wow, you voted for a guy who's on video whispering sweet nothings to his enigma secret-keeping friend. So, it's not the brag you think it is. The only thing you're owning is your support of a PDF file lover. You're not really owning the libs, but you are owning the support of a dude who is best friends So close in friendship where I believe that the J, when you see DJT, the J in his name, DJT, stands for Donald Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, Trump. So it's a funny thing when you guys are like, I love Donald. It's like, okay. You love him letting Ghislaine go to Camp Fed? You love his video? Do you watch the video of Donald dancing with Jeff? When they're clapping and they're just having fun and there's all these young women around him and you're like, yeah, that's my man. That's what we should do. Oh, I should get in on Donald Trump's grift when he sells you a Bible with like the government inside the Bible. And he's like, we're bringing church and state back together. Made in China. Buy my book. I should get in on the grift and get a picture of these two on a hat so you guys can just wear that and people will know what you support. So yeah, keep telling us how much you love Trump. It's so boring, but my chat seems to always get filled up with people being like, I'll swallow anything for Mr. Donald. Donald, Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, Trump. I believe that's his name. I can't be quite sure, but what else would the J stand for? Jagoff? Yeah, when you say praise the orange man, when you guys say Trump 2028, when you say MAGA, or you say that, just know what I hear is I love his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein. I am so for little St. James Island and Donald flying on the Lolita Express and the fact that they were whispering secrets about women and buying up Miss Teen Miss Teen Universe, whatever they bought. They were buying the contestants so they could be owners and go into the back when the girls are changing. That's what this guy said. Like, so when you say that, I'm like, ooh, keep that person away. Keep that person far away. You don't want him around young women. You don't want him around older women. You maybe don't want him around impressionable youths. You don't want him around anyone. Robert Hurst, back. I believe you're back again. Bill Clinton 26 times. That's right. We don't discriminate. We hate all these PDF files. That's right. And for those people who are going to say hater, you're right. We hate it. We hate it. So you're right. Thank you, Captain Obvious is in the chat. So now that we can get on from the people just praising this guy, you know, and take that if you will, wherever you will, for all of those who aren't just hailing MAGA. It's so weird. They're like, we don't want a declaration of independence. We want a declaration of dependence on Donald Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, Trump. But take that wherever. And then listen, for the rest of you, I apologize. I don't address the rest of the normal fucking people a lot of the time because these maggots are so vocal in the chat. But I really need to address the rest of you. They're just so loud, and they're so loud and they're proud, you know, like the Proud Boys. They're Proud Boys. They're really loud and proud. And you'd figure when this guy's like, this isn't superimposed. These are best friends. They're on video. And you figure you would not be that proud of it, but they are. They are turds as humans, you know. They are human toilet bowls. Lock them up. Yes, please. But to the rest of you, my apologies. Let me address you for a second. To the rest of you people who aren't simping for this guy, DJT, Donald Jeffrey Epstein, Trump, Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, Trump, hit subscribe and hit the notification bell. I'm Rob. I go live every single weekday. But this is why I wanted to do this, because you got to check out this. You got to check out Life Take Two, this video. What I learned from my creepy Lisa Golden. A lot of these billionaires are sick, twisted people. Yo, hold on. We got to take a pause for a second. Lisa Golden, $2. This is my first super chat ever. I would just like to take, can I heart that? Hold on. Wait. I can heart it. There we go. Lisa Golden, I would like to take a moment not only to appreciate that the comment you said, a lot of these billionaires are sick, twisted people. They are. And don't forget, they're also the bosses of a lot of corporations. Remember when people are like, I want a businessman to run the government. And hopefully you had my response is, that's stupid. The government isn't a business. It doesn't exist for profit. It exists to provide services for the people with the tax money it collects. And these people are sick. And it's unfortunate. We should tax billionaires to extinction, okay? Extinct. But with that comment, I just want to say thank you, Lisa. You are my first super chat. This is a moment. This is a moment for me. So that is very, very kind of you. And Lisa Golden, what a golden comment. What a name, what a comment. Just want to take a minute to say thank you very much. But this channel, right? This girl, and I don't know her. I've left her comments. She said she does like a podcast on the side. She said, would you ever be open? I would love to get, and I don't even know her name. Again, I've only watched her videos like twice. But this video was so insightful. She details her relationship with a creepy ex-husband. And she details how that related to her life in MAGA. And I thought it was interesting and powerful because, again, information, if any of you guys are from the 80s, you remember G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe said what? Not only yo, Joe, but they said knowing is half the battle. So information, I would like to think, is more than half the battle. Information is important. And when you get this kind of insight from somebody who lived it firsthand, it's extremely, extremely, extremely useful. And you see that she details, too, in another video that I watched. I think it was this one, Teen Models, Rich Creeps, and the Epstein Pipeline. But she plays a clip at the beginning of some TikToker who says, you know, it's funny that all these people that wanted the Epstein files, the way they're acting now, they're acting accordingly once Donald Trump told them, you know, hey, calm down, you stupid weaklings. His words, not mine. But they say, because we have the evidence, we have the victims that have spoken out. We have the girls who have come out, like, here, for all you who say we're against, you know, the people being creepy to kids. In one of the comments on her channel, someone listed, I think there's over 28 girls who have accused Donald of SA. So, like, we have that evidence, but nobody wants that. And the TikTok video she showed was so poignant. It was a woman detailing how they don't, I don't think she said they don't care about that, but she was like, they don't want that. They want a list from a man, delivered from a man to them. And that way, you know, a man has given them the list that validates it, because they don't care about listening to all the victims, all the women. In fact, sometimes I find it always a sad case of weirdness when they like harass the victims, because it's like, wait, are you for protecting these, you know, young folks from these predators or not? Because when the victims come out, you know, sometimes they lob garbage at them. And we have all these cases. So like we could go, it's like, it's so weird, you know, that we have the evidence, we have the voices, we have the people speaking out against this who were, you know, horribly victimized by these people, but instead they want a list delivered from a man. And it's just, it was such a brilliant point. I needed to share it. But this girl details all that. And then I started thinking like, yo, this is crazy, right? This is absolutely bananas. And then I seen, when you look up the polling, it says the most recent poll conducted between August 1st among 1,700 U.S. adults found that just 11% of black respondents approved of Trump's job performance, while 84% disapproved, giving him a net approval rating of -73. In the survey conducted early in May, 22%. So it's just amazing to me that black folks were still supported, 22%, because if you know anything about old Donald, John, Jennifer, Donald Jeffrey Epstein, best friend Trump's history, you understand, and you can look this up, that he's had lawsuits since he was old silver spoon Nepo baby, Fred Trump's little side piece, you know, a daddy's boy. He was the silver spoon daddy boy, and Fred Trump was running stuff. And again, you guys can look this stuff up, link down below, to, hold on, where's the article? Ah, shoot, did I not take a picture of it? Shoot, My apologies. Here's the summary, though. Like, they've had allegations of racial discrimination with their Trump properties since the 70s. The 70s. That is how many years ago? 50 years ago? 50 years ago. God damn, the president is so old. How old was he in the 70s? Like 40? My God. We gotta stop having old presidents. Once you're at retirement age, you should be able to run the country. The only thing you should run is a scooter. Or no, what are those things? A rascal. That's it. That's the only thing you should be able to run. But I mean, and maybe black folks don't know that him and his daddy, because Donald Trump's a Nepo baby. I hope you know that too. Like, he wouldn't have anything without Fred. And they were being racist back in the 70s. Like, back when, they were still civil rights wars being fought. It's insane. It's insane, man. Stop discrimination of the elderly. Don't just be another brick in the wall part 2. If you're a MAGA, you don't get to say anything about discrimination. Okay? If you're MAGA, I don't want to hear like, oh, you're being mean or anything. Like, if you're of the F your feelings crowd, just shut your mouth, The only thing that's come out of your mouth for the past 10 years is being mean. So, I love when people bring up Biden. Guys, if you're new to the channel, I don't support Biden, Kamala, Hillary, Donald, any of the Republicans. The Republicans are just heinous. And then the Democrats, this is what I wanted to talk to that girl about. I'd love to do a podcast with her or have her on the live stream, live take 2, because she's now a Democrat. And I'm like, oh, now we got to deprogram her from the Democrats, because the Democrats are just Republican light. They're just there to provide you some kind of illusion of like you have a choice. Both these parties don't care for you. Go look up, the laws that are written, and if the lobbyists write the laws and just have the politicians sign them. Like, that's how this country works. And some of you are seriously thinking like Donald Trump cares about you. Oh. That's exactly what. Whoa, hold on. Crystal Sigler, Trump's, we are not this country, it's everyone's country. Yeah, but remember when Trump was, oh, Chief's here. I see the messages get deleted by Chief. Chief, thank you, and it's good to see you. The Google troll account. So why do you think that your opinion matters? Well, I think a lot of people's opinion matters, not just mine, but I just happen to do a live stream where I do newsmentary. Hit subscribe and the notification bell. Come back. I go live every single weekday. You don't have to think my opinion matters. What I'm telling you is I've lived on this spinning rock for decades, folks, for decades. And to all the people who are like, capitalism is awesome, it works. I'm like, well, I've been here long enough to see that it's just getting worse and worse. Last election, when I was growing up in the 90s and in the 2000s, we had P. Diddy. You might know him from his sexcapades, his illegal activities, and he's in prison. But at one point, MTV was paying him to go on TV and say, vote or die. Like, at one point, voting was made up to be like this important thing. And we had these recounts in Florida. And it was just a crazy time, man. But I'll tell you the one thing people weren't asking about, the price of eggs. Like, they weren't like, Trump make egg less. Like, they didn't give a shit about that. We were getting there. Don't get me wrong. We were getting there. But now, last election, there were like news stories. So much so that on his first day, there were journalists wasting time going, Donald, are you going to lower the price of eggs like you said on day one? He's like, what? Get out of here. I wasn't serious with that. And I was like, this is so sad. People thought like he was serious. And people were serious. People were serial asking him, like, can you make egg low? Can you make egg less? And he was like, yeah, I'll do whatever you want. Shut your mouth. Just give me your vote. And they gave him the vote, and then come to find out, like, oh, the president don't do that. He don't do that for you. You know what he does do? He'll cut Jeff Bezos' taxes. Old Tim Apple, remember when Donald called him Tim Apple? Tim Cook served him up a huge brick of gold, and Tim Apple's company will certainly get some tax breaks and some leniency and workers' rights probably stripped. But my God, folks, it is just, it's not about my opinion being important, but I'll tell you what, I've lived long enough. Here's some advice for you young folks. When you've lived long enough to understand that this shit ain't working, don't try to believe the people. Don't bend over backwards to believe the people that tell you, like, oh, it's working, just give it more time. It's like, it's not. You know who it's working for? The CEOs. The CEOs, the Starbucks CEO is making 6,666 to 1 ratio median pay. CEOs used to make 20 to 1, 30 to 1. Today, they're making 6,666, and that's a real number. Link down in the description, to 1. And y'all are fine with it. You guys are fine with it. You're like, yeah, they just worked that hard. In 4 months, he made $100 million more than Microsoft, Google, Amazon, all those CEOs. He just worked that hard. Just work harder. It's like, guys, I've been watching people work hard my whole life in multiple jobs and still not get ahead. And before the people in the chat start saying, well, I'm fine, okay, if that's even real. But we're not talking about you. We're talking about the country. So again, to bring it back to why do I think my opinion is so important? It don't. I just think that when you get to this age and you can dispel the myths for other people, you should do that. Plus, I'm a vibe coach, bitch. I don't give a shit about the price of eggs. I care about what people are paid. Mad skills. I'm not a liberal, war tag. Don't get it wrong. I'm the, you know how Republicans, I'll tell you what I am in a second. You know, the Republicans fearmonger about the radical left woke. Isn't that so funny? Because aren't they the ones who drink like liberal tears, but they're scared of anti-fascists? If anybody's scared of anti-fascists, you should wonder if they might be a fascist. And if you don't know what a fascist is, well, thank God we got the internet. Go look it up, folks. Go look it up. You got to inform yourself. But war tag, I'm not a liberal. I'm the radical leftist woke mob that the Republicans tell you have to be scared of. Because I don't want books burned. I don't want books banned. I don't believe in medical debt. I don't think people should have student debt. I think people should earn a living wage, and a living wage meaning that one job can provide for multiple vacations that are paid time off by the company, that you shouldn't have to earn sick time here in America, and that for crying out loud, we should be down to a 3-day work week by now and a 4-day weekend. We have the technology, folks. The productivity is there. And if you look at, there was a study done in the UK with 1,000 different companies that went down to a 4-day work week, and none of those companies are going back because they all were like, oh, productivity went up, people came back refreshed, accidents went down, the turnover rate dropped. Like, it only helps for the company, but corporations want control, and they want what a lot of you in the chat are already doing for them. They want you to stay divided, and they want you to think like, oh, it's an immigrant, that's the problem. Once all the immigrants leave, which my family, myself was immigrants at one, but once all they leave, then the CEOs will finally be nice and trickle down economics will work. It's like, Jesus Christ, you guys are so dumb. Mad skills. I got some homework for you, because I think you're asking genuine questions when you say, what do you replace capitalism with? I want you to look at what Denmark and the Scandinavian countries do, and how they are, number one, always the happiest in those yearly, happiest country in the world. And I want you to look at their welfare states. Now, I know this guy has told you welfare is a bad word, but honestly, Elon Musk takes a lot of welfare, doesn't complain about it. Welfare is actually a good word. It means like your communities have things. It's the welfare. It measures like how well you're doing, how well you're faring, I guess is the etymology of that. But I want you to look at the Scandinavian countries. This is what I try to do, because for those of you who think Jesus founded America with his pet bald eagle, and they just built it to be what it is, and not understand that like they called it an experiment, and they actually took from many different things. That's why Ben Franklin spent a lot of time in France, because they were trying to see what the French were doing, how they were doing la démocratie. In fact, we talked with Darine, who's in France. But I want you to look up the Scandinavian countries, because I think what we do, and if America, would just stop, if the working class would just unite, it's a class war, not a culture war, but if the working class would just unite and we said, hey, what are the best countries in the world, the happiest, right? And before you start saying, oh, their population's smaller, shut up. This isn't for small-minded people. Shut up. But we look at what the most successful countries, the happiest, the countries where the people are the happiest in the world, right? Scandinavian countries always rank in those polls. And we look at what their social systems are, what their prison systems are, which I could tell you because I've watched some of the things on YouTube. And we need to take those ideas and steal them. We need to bite them. We need to be like Mr. Beast does. When he releases a video, he's not like, what can I come up with that's new? He's like, what's the hottest thing out right now? And I'm gonna Mr. Beastify it. He's the most unoriginal piece of shit there is. Like, look at his biggest video. It's Squid Games, right? That was a Netflix show. He just did it on YouTube. I don't know why people are like, brilliant. It's like, no, he just did Netflix on YouTube. But what we do, I'm from Denmark and you can't. James Pindemand. Again, small-minded. You don't tell me what we can do. People thought you couldn't break away from a king in 1775. And a lot of you were looking like that in the chat, where you're like, we should just be dependent on one person and listen to what they say. That was the other thing that channel said. She talked about wanting a strong alpha skibbity risma male, having structure and telling them what to do, because these people can't like handle creativity. Their heads must explode when they watch Jim Henson. But the guy from Denmark, if you're really from Denmark, post a short on your video. If you're really from Denmark, prove it. Post a short on your video, because sometimes people just say shit in the chat, which is fine, but like they say it to like disprove a point. But the thing is don't tell me we can't, okay? Because in 1775, people were saying, you can't break from the king. They have the biggest armada in the world, or whatever they were calling the armies back then. They were like, they have ships, we're a colony, we can't do it. And guess what? We fucking did it. So don't tell me what we can't do. We can do anything you put your mind to. It's just we got to get the working class to all be like, yeah, working 7 days a week sucks. We don't want to do that. But some of you just get off on other people's suffering. So like, you don't want to admit like, oh, we could just all be happy. We just got to get rid of the billionaires. Oh, okay. Like you're simping for them and it's exhausting. But don't ever say we can't do that, because like my great uncle John Brown was an outlier when he was like, we're going to get rid of slavery in this country. And John Brown, my uncle, went to war for freeing the slaves. He lost his life in that mission, and people told him he was crazy. People told him it would never happen, and look what happened. Right after his death, he sparked the Civil War. As Henry David Thoreau said, John Brown is going to make the gallows as glorious as the cross, and he did. And they would hum John Brown's body is moldering in the grave in the Civil War. So never say we can't, okay? Rhetoric bullish. That's stupid as you think the 1% care about your rights. Yeah, I don't know who you're addressing, Rhetoric, but yes, you're right. The 1% don't care about you. Why? If guys, if your bosses care about you, why do they make you earn sick time? And if you don't have to earn sick time, okay, you're an outlier. The American law is you have to earn your sick time, okay? Do you not hear the stupidity in that? You have to earn enough time to be sick. God. And again, Lizard King, when you say, I make my own money, again, we're not talking about the outliers. We're talking about America as a whole, okay? So for the people who are like, I'm set, who cares? It's like, yeah, you're an asshole. You're the reason we have these issues. You think I'm okay, so F everyone else. F that 1 in 5 kids in America go food insecure and are hungry every night. Like, that mentality is so poisonous. You should not do a live stream. I encourage everybody to do live streams, but people who have poisonous ideologies do not. Stephen Leiden says, some dude who belongs on To Catch a Predator. Are you talking about the president? That's a funny comment, Stephen. Wait a minute. Did we get another super chat? Hold on. Hold on. Did I miss a super chat? Chief or Alma, are you guys here? Did I miss another super chat? Did I miss a super chat? Oh, Lisa again. Hold on. Lisa again. Good Lord, Lisa. My first 2 super chats from Lisa Golden. They're called elites, and starting next year will be a super great depression. Yeah, Lisa, it's already happening. Because I wanted to show you guys, hold on. I wanted to show you guys this girl's channel, link down below, what I learned about Epstein from my creepy ex-husband. Women, very important insights. Men, even more important. It's important for, feminism is for everyone, folks, but it's even more important for men to understand this stuff. Okay, and not to repeat it. And if you're one of them, it's okay, but you need to do what Michael Jackson said. Put on Man in the Mirror and go sit in front of a mirror during the whole duration of that song and think about how you need to change this world, starting with the man in the mirror. Man in the mirror. Sorry, I have ADHD, ADH elemental P, ADHQ, and the sad thing is a survey found that 47% of Republicans said they'd still support the president, Donald Jeffrey Epstein's best friend. I'm assuming that's what the J stands for, Trump, even if he were officially implicated in the late Epstein's crimes. That's almost half. Half would negate his crimes, his association with this criminal in the presidency, guys. Like, this is not normal. And Snopes did this, okay? I linked the article down below, but this is not normal. This is not normal. This is not okay. This is not normal. Chief, can you get rid of We Was Kings? These people who just try to personally attack me when I'm like, guys, the media and Republicans normalizing Donald Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, Trump, Taco, with his relationship with Epstein and Ghislaine, normalizing it for you is not okay. And they're like attacking me. You know, it's so weird. It's so weird. It's the weirdest thing. When you come in my chat and just start saying MAGA this, MAGA that, just know when I hear MAGA, I go, oh my God, they defend this guy. They defend Jeffrey Epstein's best friend. They're simping for, they're skibbity-rizmaing for Jeffrey Epstein's best friend. Just know, when you say MAGA, that's what we think. You think it's some loud Braveheartian like war call to other maggots, but what you don't understand is most people are like putting their teenage kids behind their back. Most people are like, oh damn, you know, oh brutal. He wishes he was at Lolita Express Island or whatever the fuck it is, you know. So when you say MAGA, it's not. And again, it's so weird that these people pride themselves on being Alpha Sigma Beta Rismas. Yet when I say like this dude is clearly friends with him and it's bad that the country is normalizing this, they attack me. Like, why are you offended? Do you need a safe space? Go to Tim Pool's podcast. Get the fuck out of here. Lizard King, teach people how to make money. Lisa, sorry Lizard, you got bumped. Lisa Golden, tariffs will destroy American economy and will kill the money system. CBDC control over citizens' money. Lisa, I don't know if you were in here when I was talking about the tariffs, right? So there's an article today talking about India hit with a 50% tariff. And what I showed my wife this morning, and I screenshot it because I want to show you I was devastated, is this email that I received. This is Catherine, founder and CEO of Barabee. I'm writing this with a knot in my stomach because of sudden 50% tariffs for India. We have no choice but to stop production of our blankets. And before I go any further, this isn't a commercial. I love Barabee. They do blankets, weighted blankets. And if you have anybody with autism in your life, these are the greatest weighted blankets there are. We've gone through a few of them, family members and all this. We've gone through a few of them, and this is the one I buy. They're a little more expensive, but they are worth it. They're durable, they are breathable, and they're just amazing. But I seen this and I thought, fuck, man. And then I thought, I hate capitalism, because they were like, if you want to buy one, keeping the prices exactly the same. I'm like, you're keeping the prices the same? Put them on sale, bitch. I'm like, go do a going out of business closing sale. Because I can't afford that. I had to save up all year for my Barabee. Come on, don't you know we're not paid well enough? Of course she knows. She makes her stuff in India. But yes, Lisa Golden, and thank you for the super chat. Super chat. I want to get a sound effect that goes super chat. And by the way, guys, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Hold on, can I pull it up? Yeah, so Lisa Golden, thank you for the super chats. This is amazing. Tariffs will destroy Americans' economy. They already are. If your kids or you are into the Muppets and Jim Henson like I am, I love the Muppets. I love Jim Henson. Such a brilliant mind. Really just a brilliant man. But Jim Henson, his intellectual property Muppets was done by Diamond Select, and they made little Muppets figures. Now we don't have any. I wanted to get one for my son, but they're a little expensive. And I seen a notification too that Diamond Select is out of business. So if you're a collector or you got kids that love those toys or statues or whatever, they do a bunch of stuff. But I just know they made the Muppets toys. They're done. They're toast because of the tariffs. Like, I don't understand why people are still applauding this dude like this. And guys, by the way, like, it doesn't affect you today. I mean, this obviously affects this CEO today. But like the ripple effect, it's a ripple effect. Like this time next year, I'll be doing these lives and we'll check in, folks. We'll see how everybody's doing. So yeah, Lisa, I wanted to bring that up. People, stop talking about Biden. He's not the president, okay? Jesus. Brooklyn Ways. It's the Brooklyn Way. Brooklyn Ways. Do you know what the Brooklyn Way is before I read your comment? Do you know what the Brooklyn Way is? Pop quiz. Come on. If you're going to be on my channel, you have to know stuff from the 90s. Do you know what the Brooklyn Ways is? I got to read. No. All right, your homework for today, again, I'm your vibe coach. I'm Rob. Hit subscribe and the notification bell. We always punch up. We joke about the news because the news is a joke. We do news commentary. Brooklyn Ways, you might be young then, or too old, or maybe listen to Biggie Smalls. Spread love is the Brooklyn Ways. So I need you to listen to Biggie Smalls tonight. Daddy Ransom, I'm assuming you're a MAGA, because I love when MAGA does this. They go the party of tolerance, such bigots. No, we have no tolerance for the class war. We have no tolerance for Nazis. My grandfather didn't have tolerance for Nazis when we fought them in World War II, and we don't have tolerance for your Nazism now. Is that clear enough for you? I love when people act this stupid. Daddy Ransom, and this is the thing, Donald Trump is the biggest victim. You ever heard him in listen to Donald Trump in a press conference. It's someone asks him something that challenges his authority or just challenges his lies. He goes, that's not a very nice question. Failing. Next question. I'm not talking to you anymore. Or he just boots them out of the White House press corps. And he's normalizing people like Daddy Ransom to say, oh, the party of tolerance? What bigotry? And it's like, no, what you don't understand is sometimes there's no tolerance. When people want to hate you or eradicate you or take away your rights or oppress you or make you earn less, or they're racist or they're, homophobic or sexist, like there's no tolerance for those people. I'm glad I got a teaching moment. Again, I'm your vibe coach. So I'm glad I got to teach you that, Daddy Ransom, because you need to learn that. You need to learn. You don't get to, pretend like, oh, you should just be tolerant with me. Like Donald Trump has taught you how to play the victim so well that you don't even realize you're playing the victim. Yeah. Believe it or not, a lot of companies being quiet, but a lot of China. Oh, hold on. I gotta see. Hold on. New Jersey Devil stopping by to say what up. What's up, Crush Dice? Good to see you. Go check out Crush Dice's YouTube channel. What, you didn't ever tell us. You do some kind of live streams. I love to support other small creators. By the way, thank you for the $9.99. That's amazing, Crush Dice. My second person to do the what's it called? Super chat. Sorry, I'm new at this. But Crush Dice, that's the other thing. I'm glad you dropped a comment, and I'm even more humbled for that super chat. But New Jersey Devil stopping by to say what up. What do you do? I love to support other small creators. And the reason why is when I started really like going at YouTube, when radio just totally turned into a private equity trying to make money out of it. And I really focused on YouTube. I hated that there were big YouTubers that didn't want to like even talk about other YouTubers because it would send people there. And I get it if like they're not good people or they're doing like, you know, toxic content or whatever. But I never got it when it was like, yo, just shout out who you're watching or what you're watching. And Crush Dice does. I don't do live streams. I just hang out and listen to music. I love supporting you. Thank you. Oh, so if you just listen to music, I would love to be able to play music on YouTube without getting the ding ding. But yeah, go check out, if you're a small creator and you create something that's not hate-filled or trying to oppress other people, I love talking about it. And I love checking it out too. I've always said, if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I've always said that YouTube needs to have a filter where you can filter, I want a 0 to 100 subscriber channels. I want 0 to 1,000, 10,000, 100 or 100,000, million. I think they should have that filter because I like finding small channels that have, you know, 20, 40, 100, 300, 3,000 views and seeing what they have to say. Underground artists, they're pretty good. They have potential. Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing. You can find some cool ass stuff on here that's like really underappreciated. And I got a feeling Mr. Beast has access to that. Because some of the accusations where people are like, he stole that idea from a smaller channel, if you go down the rabbit hole like I have, I'm like, he's got to have a way to like find these small channels that aren't getting the views and then vacuum out the ideas. Joseph, imagine wasting time making those signs and believing that accomplishes something. Joseph, imagine thinking that I should just sit at home and do nothing, and that accomplishes something. These people are not only creative, because if you've ever seen Mary Poppins, great movie, the original, not Jim from The Office's wife one. I haven't even seen that one, but Mary Poppins, I mean, iconic babysitter for the times. I put her up there with Adventures in Babysitting, the original, the 80s one. And if you haven't seen those movies, go watch both of them. But they wrote it in the I resist this supercalifragile racist sexist Nazi POTUS. That's hilarious. You can't see the creativity in that because you're simping for Donald Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, Trump. Bob Dole, not even reading your comments. Shut up. Bob Dole. I'm Bob Dole. They never put the crayons down. The posters got bigger with age. Step Trento says Trump baby. You're right. Trump is a baby. Thank you for saying that. Trump baby. He is a baby. It's good to see. I would just like to see one maggot critique Trump just once. I think they might have a heart attack. Mary Poppins, wow, a real intellectual. Sometimes, this is why I say, folks, I'm your official YouTube vibe coach, okay? This is why I say it, for moments right here, with Steve Wicks, who has his name upside down. He probably thought that was super clever. He was like, people are gonna have to turn their phones upside down and read my thing. This intellectual says, Mary Poppins, wow, real intellectual. This is why I'm a vibe coach, for moments like this. Steve, you should have shut your mouth. Come with something else. Like, if you think people can't like art, you know, if you want me to say, oh, I just finished Infinite Jest for the 3rd time, and, you know, my my summary of that book, if you even know what Infinite Jest is, which I'm guessing the intellectual like you are probably does, I'm hoping. But if you don't understand, like, there's there's this thing called art that people create. And it's not meant to be like, I'm an intellectual because I like Picasso or the book Infinite Jest. It's just meant to enjoy. Crushed ice. Yeah. Hit the subscribe button, then hit the notification bell, because I wasn't even planning to do, we're almost done an hour. I wanted Vibe Coach's code for unemployed loser. Thank you, Joseph. You guys got to come with some better disses. The trolls are getting weaker and weaker, man. You guys are sad. And the worst part is like, you know, I know of like Jeffrey Ross, the roast master, and when that guy comes at you, duck and cover, because he knows how to make it sting. And the trolls are just, you know, like Mary Poppins wooden intellectual. It's like, it's just funny, man, because I just wish it was like humorous, you know? Oh, God. Kick rocks, Joseph. Don't smoke them. See, I like that. Kick rocks, don't smoke them. Look at Crushed Ice coming in with the fire. And that's why I'm a vibe coach, folks, because most of these Republican figures, they need their vibe checked. Heart call to show people how brave they are. But really, it just defines how brave you are to support a dude who is best friends with Jeff Epstein. Don't be a roll a blunt. Crushed dice. I love it. I love it. I love it. So guys, again, today I was going to talk about, but not in this live stream. I was going to do a real live stream where I talked about the news. Today I wanted to show you guys briefly this channel, Life Take Two, what I learned about Epstein from my creepy ex-husband. And she talks about being in the MAGA cults. You know, as you could see, I wanted to share her channel, link down below. But originally, where is it? Where is it? I wanted to talk about this. I wanted to give you your vibe coach's advice for how to survive Donald Trump's redneck recession. That's what they're calling it. That's just so funny. That's so funny. But somehow we got way off course, way off course. We got way off course. And we went down the rabbit hole. So I'm going to try to go live later, folks, and we'll talk about the news because I wanted to give you some advice. Again, this is all make-believe, joking, satirical. Well, actually, the funny part about my advice was, do you guys remember when the CEO, I was going to take a picture of it, I haven't yet because I wasn't planning to do this long of a live stream. Remember when the CEO of the cereal company said, if you can't afford dinner, just have cereal? And he was serious. I wanted to use that as part of the advice to survive Trump's redneck recession. That if you can't afford food, just don't eat. That's the advice that these motherfuckers are giving you. There was even a Wall Street article. I got to take some of the pictures so I can show you guys. Mad Skill says, later, bro, good luck, Antifa. But that stands for anti-fascist. Thank you, because we are fighting fascism in America. So I appreciate that. I don't know. Sometimes people think Antifa is like, it's so funny how they've really redefined what words mean. Some people think Antifa is like this bad thing that wants to control you, and it's like, no, we don't want fascists in power. But again, the education in America is going down quite quickly. So I wanted to talk about Trump's redneck recession, which is not hitting Wall Street, by the way. That article points out that Wall Street is fine. They're doing great. Stock buybacks have, in fact, never been higher. Those Trump tax cuts for corporations and the wealthy, yeah, they know what to do with their money. They spend it irresponsibly to oppress others. But I wanted to give you guys some advice on how to, survive the redneck recession, which is funny. I don't understand some of the comments. Some of you guys are showing, how small-minded you are, and that's okay. That's okay. Hold on, 55 Brooks and Dunn. Jesus Christ, you have Brooks and Dunn in your name. Oh, God. Don't talk about definitions when a woman can't define a woman. Somebody in my chat defined a woman the other day, Brooks and Dunn. A woman is somebody who covers her drink when you walk by. Okay? So when you walk by her at the bar or out in public, she covers her drink. That's what a woman is. We've defined it. Go let Charlie Kirk know that. Lisa Golden, this is not Trump doing. Watch the G4 convention now. Super elites say super elites say people will own nothing but will be happy. Oh, if you don't think Trump's a part of it, Lisa, you are sadly mistaken. He is a coastal elite. He is a nepotism baby from New York City. He has been wealthy since his daddy birthed him out of his fallopian tube. Okay? So Lisa, he is. But you're right. These G4 conventions and the super elites, just look at Netflix and streaming services. And again, when somebody asks me, why do you think your opinion's important? I don't. I just have wisdom to share. And back in my day, you used to own your DVDs and CDs. You used to own everything. You said you want to listen to something or you want to watch a show. You didn't have to go, well, what is it streaming on? Oh, we can't find it. Oh, we have to subscribe to something else. We didn't have to do that. We could just go, oh, put in the collection, or you'd wait until it came on at whatever time. But now they're normalizing, and this is what we're trying to do. We're joking about this so it wakes people up, because like I say, you plant a seed and people can't unhear stuff. So once I've planted all these seeds in MAGA's head, they're going to realize when they go home and they want to watch something, but it's not on streaming, they go, oh my God, they've normalized renting everything to me. I rent my music, I rent my house, I rent my DVDs, I rent my books, soon they're going to have you renting your food and your water. They're having you rent your cars, they're having you rent your heated seats, they're having you rent everything. Crushed Dice, yes, back in our day. Crushed Dice, Chief, I think Alma was here. Let me just say, I'm very thankful that you guys have hit subscribe and notification bell. I'm very thankful because out of all the trolls and the hateful people that do flood the chat, I just want to take a moment because I realized earlier when there were more people here that I don't address the people who sit quietly or don't feel like chatting or not joining the conversation, which I would encourage everyone. Like that guy said, what makes you so important? Nothing. I want to hear from a lot of people, as long as it's not oppressive hate, I don't want to hear these libertarian tards talk about limited government, but then when I say, great, limited government, so hands off women's bodies, let them have their own bodily autonomy, they're like, no, not that limited government. The small government we want controls women's body. It's like, you can't say we're the land of the free and then try to regulate who people can marry. Okay? So I just want to take a moment to address the few people like Crush Dice, and Chief and Bandito and Curtis and Alma and G-Ma and Lisa Golden for dropping the super chats. Big salute to you guys. Solidarity with you guys. Much love to you guys, because I know there's a lot of people out there that are like, this is rubbish. This is rubbish what's going on. We want our world to be better. We don't want people in medical debt. But while there's people dying in medical debt, losing their houses in medical debt, they have the money to build prisons and bombs. We're sick of this shit. So solidarity to all the people who are, working for a better world. And I would say that is the one thing that I would say makes my voice important to that guy. I don't even know if he's still here. The one thing that makes my voice important is I'm never going to shut up when there are hateful people around. I'm never going to shut. If you're racist around me, just beware, because I'm going to tell you to shut the fuck up. If you're sexist around me, I will never stand for that. I've lost too many people in my life to not understand how quick this life goes and to not want to make an impact for the better. So Lisa Golden, average gamers don't even own their PS5 game. Lisa, we should do a whole podcast on that, because there were articles the other week talking about not only the new Nintendo Switch 2, but how these gamer things and like Steam is putting in the secret writing down below in the small letterings that when you die you can't give your Steam account to someone else, or you don't even personally own your video game. It is bananas, Lisa Golden. Thank you for pointing that out, because that is the other thing that they're normalizing. Gamers, wake up. Once we wake up the gamers, man, game over. You know, I used to think, I come from the 90s where the movie Hackers with Angelina Jolie, I thought the hackers were going to, you know, make these elites be put in check, but maybe we're leaving it to the gamers, and the real gamers, not like the Elon Musk who pays people to game for him, but like the real gamers. Like, gamers, wake up. You know, as soon as they release the next PS6 or 7 with no disk drive, that's a warning sign, okay? They're saying you don't get to own the games anymore. If you don't pay your weekly bill, boom, we're shutting your gaming off. Brilliant comment, Lisa Golden. Brilliant. Yeah, Gaming Bunny. Israel having universal health care and paid maternity and paternity leave. And who pays for that? We do! Lisa Golden, I lost over $1,200 on the Steam account. Oh my Jesus. And that's what I mean. And it's like, and what Donald, and this is why, Lisa, when you said Donald Trump, you know, you didn't say he had nothing to do with it. But what I'm telling you is I watch the other moves he makes, like the NLRB. He put a union buster in charge of the National Labor Relations Board, okay? And he also is stripping people of their rights and giving corporations more power. Why? Because he's a CEO, a failed one, but he's friends with all them. And they're paying homage in the way of gold bricks, like you see Tim Apple do. But Lisa, that's why, like, we need a people party, a working people party where we can have some kind of recourse. You know, when they were talking about the CFPBA or whatever on Joe Rogan, when Mark Meta Zuckerberg was like, I don't even know what that is, and he has 2 lawsuits against them. Donald Trump is enabling these people so you as a consumer have no recourse. If you lose that money, you used to be able to call a government institute, a government building, a government industry that would help you fight and get that back. And what Trump is doing is saying corporations are going to rule it. What is Mark saying? Bottoms up Democrat wusses. Mark, you know what the funniest thing about these Republican maggots are? Is they're the most sensitive, fragile. Where's the sign? Where's the sign? Don't make me pull it out, Mark. Don't make me pull it out. Here's the sign. You super callous, fragile, racist, sexist, Nazi, POTUS lovers. That's why I love this sign. God bless these old ladies. They've been doing it for a long time. Revolution is key. Elites use us like cannon fodder. Alex. Let me just take a moment, because there are some real folks in the chat. Hit subscribe. If you're for making this world better for our kids and for us, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I do news commentary, and I also leave you, Mark, you think baby oil is the official sponsor of the Democratic Party? Number one, I'm not a Democrat. I've never been in the Democratic Party. I'm the radical leftist that the Republicans warned you about. But if you think defending this guy, DJT, Donald Jeffrey Epstein's best friend Trump, that's his full name, I believe. If you think you could say anything while defending him, you're not a serious person. But for everybody else, the little button that's hopefully over his face, hit subscribe, because there are people that want to make this place better. And I salute you, and I stand in solidarity with you. California, I lived in California for a long time. I would say a lot of this American stuff is a hot mess. Gob, thank you for joining the stream and commenting. I appreciate all the maggots that still watch, still comment. I appreciate it, you know. We're gonna educate you. We're gonna plant the seed, and you're gonna grow a tree of compassion and empathy in your brain. Because thinking this guy, watching this guy have no compassion for anyone besides Ghislaine Maxwell, wishing her well, but thinking he has compassion for you, you're foolish. You are a fool to believe that. So, ICE is Gestapo. It's his private police force doing dirty work. Don't be ICE. All right, guys. Hit subscribe and notification bell. I'm going to try to go live later because I wasn't expecting to go this long. I have stuff to do. Chief is the GOAT. Chief, I got to thank you for all the work you're doing, man. And by the way, I do give you extracurricular stuff. If you're into finding out more, Fred Hampton Jr. and the Black Panther Cubs, link down below. Gary's Economics, who talks about taxing wealth, not work. He's a huge channel on YouTube. Please, if you have 20 minutes today, watch the video I linked down below. It's Gary Economics doing a video about how we, the workers, the upper middle class, the lower middle class, the poor, all of us outside of the billionaire owner class, the asset owners, the asset owners, outside of all of them, Gary's Economics video down below, he discusses how we take control back. And I also put all the links that we talk about that. So we appreciate everybody supporting, and be kind to one another. Okay, love each other. Remember what Jesus said. My Lord and Savior said, what sets you apart from the tax collector? Even the tax collector loves people who love him. Said, you know what? You know how you'll be the salt of the earth? You'll love your enemy. Okay, so MAGA, if you think you're a Christian, you should show some Christian love by loving your enemy. You should show compassion and empathy. We're planting the seeds right now. You can't ignore it. And that's the thing about once you say, I believe Christ is Lord and Savior, the whole thing about that is once you acknowledge that, your life starts, you live differently. You treat people with compassion. You walk in Christ's footsteps. You say, thou with, the first, without sin, cast the first stone. So I want you to remember that, MAGA. All right? Jesus, Mary, and Jane. That was a good band. Crushed Ice. You from the 90s too? I got a feeling. All right, guys. Much love, much respect. Peace.